round two, round one, Michael Williams, he's a run defender, but he's a 3-down player. Round two, they take Alfred Collins, 6'6", 330 pounds, no sack production in college. May not be a 3-down player. That's to be determined. And there were 3-down players all over the board. So was Alfred Collins the right pick in round two? Why or why not?
Ooh, are we pairing this with what we would have done in round one? That's the question. Because if we are, like, if I would have gone Nolan round one, I definitely wouldn't have gone defensive tackle round two. So
let's given that they took Michael Williams,
okay,
was it the right pick in round two?
Okay. Yeah, probably, because defensive tackle was flying off the board. What I did before the draft is I had 3 guys that I would take at every pick. And I had Alfred Collins at pick 75 as one of my 3 guys, thinking that he would probably be there. But what you started to see was guys like Tyleik Williams that you were hoping to be there early second round. They were gone in the first round. Yeah, so Grant going at pick 13 overall or whatever it was, that was really, really high. And so all of a sudden,
higher than you think.
Yeah, so now you've got defensive tackles flying off the board. I do feel like it was the right pick in that sense. The only person that I would have considered potentially taking above him in that spot would have been Ariante Ursere. And I think he's a really good player. I think he would be great sitting for a year. He'd be the future left tackle, no problem. But knowing what the 49ers need, and they needed it in spades, which is defensive linemen, yeah, Alfred Collins made a lot of sense. And pairing it with Michael Williams, I do think it was the right pick.
Yeah, you want to go, Coach?
No, go ahead.
I agree with Jess. Like the one player is Ariante that I was looking at also, but honestly, the drafting of Alfred Collins made me feel better about Michael. Right, them two together, like Michael's, like again, I think Michael could be fantastic, but having right, like a lot of people comparing him to Alden Smith. Well, where's his Justin Smith? And not that either one, not that this is going to be Alden Smith and Justin Smith. Let me back that up a little bit, but they need that big body dude like Alfred Collins to match up with Malik Williams, or excuse me, Michael Williams, in order to be fully effective. So I like the Alfred Collins pick, and I like it particularly because it makes me feel better about Michael Williams' pick. So I think it's a good move by the 49ers. I think that's who I would have got too.
I did not like the pick when it first happened. I said as much.
I saw it. It was incredible.
I was hot.
Yeah, you were.
And just for a couple of reasons, because I saw the Michael Williams pick, and I was foolishly thinking that that's what we were going to get down the defensive line from end to end. So when we got him, I also had a little bit of like, I felt jilted because I lost what I wanted at round 2, which was TJ Sanders. I wanted TJ Sanders out of South Carolina, the 6'4", 300-pound defensive tackle, who I just think that he's a 3-down lineman. He can do everything, stop the run, shoot the gap, 4'9", 40. I mean, this guy was just begging to be a Niner, an every down player, pretty much what we wanted Javon Hargraves to be, that he never showed up and did. And I really wanted TJ. When the Bills snatched TJ Sanders, I had a player that I felt as though that was on the level of TJ Sanders, but he just wasn't as polished in Darius Alexander out of Toledo. And I thought that Darius Alexander could get got at 75, not at 43. So what I wanted to do was also possibly go get a big time safety that we probably needed, go get a linebacker at the time, or possibly go get what Jesse had just mentioned at the time, which was Ariante Ursere, which would have been a fine choice at tackle. So me getting Alfred Collins, I just immediately went to just all of the bad grades that I had on him, which is the lack of pass rush, the lack of production in the pass rush, right? I looked at things about him just things that made me kind of cut him off even in the draft prep process. Like, to my credit, before the draft started, I made it clear that I was not an Alfred Collins guy, right? Basically off of the lack of production, but not necessarily understanding who he was behind all of the years that he was in Texas, why he wasn't playing, but definitely just doing a quick read of the guy. I just thought that for as much production that he had in 1 year to be that size, why now? and what happened in the fact of the other years where he didn't produce that. I'm not going to jump ahead of the draft, but I, like Ryan, there were other picks down the draft that made me okay with Alfred Collins when I started to see the vision. But after a day, I came back inside the fold. But for that time, I didn't like the pick because I thought that there were other picks that were more than just one trick ponies. But I get the pick now.
PrizePicks is sponsoring the Cohn Zone this year. PrizePicks is the leader in daily fantasy and the best place to win cash while watching sports. And the best part about the app is it's really easy to use. To create a lineup, all you have to do is pick more or less on a few players' stats. I'm a Niners guy. So, when I'm doing PrizePicks, I'm looking, the last couple of years, I'm looking at Deebo Samuel because I know Deebo Samuel better than Deebo Samuel knows Deebo Samuel. So if it's like drops, I'm taking more. Or if it's like punches thrown towards his long snapper on the sideline during the fourth quarter of a game, the 49ers will go on to win. I'm smashing more because I know the 49ers and I'm a PrizePicks guy. Now, maybe they didn't have those exact plays, but they have so many plays that'll make your head spin. And you can play PrizePicks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Best part about it is the new user offer. PrizePicks will give you $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. So win or lose, you'll get $50 just for playing. That sounds like a win to me. Use promo code Cohn, COHN, to claim your $50 today. Tell them Grant sent you. I love the pick because to me it signals that they're not as married to the wide nine anymore. And that's what I've been waiting for this. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like, dude, this guy is a two-gapper. He is not the quick. You said it in your live stream, like, where's the quick first step? This is not the kind of guy he's nothing in common with Javon Hargrave. Nothing. Mm-hmm. So him and Michael are guys who can play like 4-eye. They give you the ability to play a 5-man front and 2-gap if you wanted to. Like if you're facing the Eagles or the Ravens or the Cardinals want to be this team. I mean, more and more teams want to be this team. Teams that'll play 2 tight ends on the line of scrimmage, 3 tight ends on the line of scrimmage to really spread you out. Now you can put CJ West at nose tackle, Collins at one D end, Michael Williams at another D end, and then linebackers outside of them. You could get really, really big on the defensive line if you have to. And I think you need that ability to match up with some of these teams in the NFL. And like just being so married to the wide nine every matchup, every week isn't helping you anymore. So I did like it for that reason. And it's like, if he's only a 2-down player, so be it. At least he's not a first-round pick. And I think it's clear they were looking for someone like him, 6'6", as opposed to Kenneth Grant, 6'3", because one, it allows him to 2-gap with those long arms, and 2, like now you can have a 5'11", 215-pound will linebacker and feel like he's never going to get touched. So I think they kind of all work together. But we'll see. Yeah. They could all suck. I don't know.
Agreed. But those are the things that made me, also, like you said, that was something that we brought up on day 3, Jesse, where we kind of locked horns about the pick, is that not only are we scouting the guys basically off of what we know or what we would deem to be a good prospect, but it would also behoove us to scout the guys for what we know the Niners like, right? Like this is the type of stuff that they go for. So GTFO is like one of their hallmarks of first step, getting off the ball. They don't even look at guys. I've heard them in the past say that guys that we thought were adequate, like this guy's a dog, his first step, he's completely off the board. We don't even. So when I saw Alfred Collins at first, I was like, there's no way. There's no way he doesn't have a first step. But now, as the draft, like we said, as the draft contextualized, I started warming up to the pick.
They're evolving.
Real quick, like in the era of the tush push, right? Being able to put those big dudes out there to give yourself a chance in those situations could end up being big.
That's right, man. They're just revamped the 4-man front because they watch our show and they figured it's important.